This is John Wilson's My View Now.
And so it's My View Now with John Wilson. Thank you once again for joining us.
Not at all. Thanks for having me.
Can the Republican Party close the gender gap this year?
Where do we go with that? And how damaging is it? Well, it's incredibly damaging to Donald Trump. The thing to keep in mind here is that there are more women voters than men voters. It has been that way since the 1980s. So that's an issue for Donald Trump, because that gap with Mr. Trump cannot be overcome unless he finds a way to stop insulting women and stop insulting minorities and stop insulting immigrants. He's got to stop that, because he's going to depend on the women vote to get him across. And I don't know, right now, I think that's his biggest fear right now, is how do I bring that vote back? Campaigning is one thing. You say a lot of things you don't mean, you can't do, but now we're at the point where he is the presumptive nominee, and he's got to be, and he is. You're watching him. We see him changing his demeanor already. Well, it's got to change considerably more than it is now to suit, I think, a lot of women who are trying to figure out if they can accommodate him or not in his thinking. And frankly, we don't know what he's thinking. We don't know.
Even if he stops insulting anyone today, you can't unring the bell from what he said in the past. How damaging can that be, even if here and now, if Donald Trump stops insulting anyone from here on out, is the damage done?
Well, to some degree, the damage is done. There are people who are not going to believe he was able to convert himself into a more reasonable thinking person after having made such brash statements. But she's made them too. She's turned them around as well. You can put her negatives and positives right up beside each other, just as you can Donald Trump. That's what makes it really difficult here, or we wouldn't have a choice with Donald Trump. Now we've got a decision to make. Which of the two?
Republicans have had a gender gap since 1980, putting the behavior and temperament of Donald Trump aside. Is there anything the Republicans can do to close it on policy as opposed to tone?
Well, yes, there are specific issues with respect to policy, and that's what women are keyed to. We've got to be really careful about what positions you take, and take them in a way that you can actually develop them and then maintain them. What we've seen is flip-flops by both sides. What you've not been able to do is get a consistent thread of policy from either of these candidates, Craig, either one.
And with consistency comes trust.
Well, you're right on the money there. The trust factor is the one that's giving us the most trouble, isn't it? Can we trust him? Can we trust her? We don't know that. And I don't know who knows that. And you've got essentially two people who have both, and I hate to use the term, and I'm sorry, and I apologize for it, but both of them have lied. Both have. Run the videos. You can see it. You can watch it. What do we do about that? That damages the trust factor, but particularly with women. Women are unforgiving. they don't. Men can turn around on a lot of things. Women are not so quick to do that. I'm not saying they hold a grudge, but they remember. They remember who made what mistakes.
You heard it here. John, thank you so much. Appreciate the time.